evidence of a UFO. Jesse Marcel Jr.'s journal revealed. This is Final Death Star with an unfamiliar news update. Man who led investigation into UFO crash found indestructible debris not made by human hands. This news coming from Unilad. A U.S. Air Force intelligence officer who led the investigation into a reported UFO crash in 1947 determined that the debris was, quote, not made by human hands, according to his journal. More than 60 years after the incident, Jesse Marcel Jr.'s journal is set to be revealed during a 3-part series on the History Channel called Roswell, The First Witness. Before his death in 2013, Marcel had appeared on a number of TV shows, documentaries, radio shows to talk about his experience. Marcel's father, Jesse Marcel Sr., was the first officer to investigate the wreckage in New Mexico in 1947, where he believed he saw debris that was not man-made. On July 8, 1947, Roswell Daily Record reported the intelligence office of the 509th Bombardment Group at Roswell Army Airfield announced at noon today that the field has come into the possession of a flying saucer, end quote. Shortly after the wreck made headlines, the U.S. Air Force shut down any claims of a UFO crash, stating that the debris was from a weather balloon invented by Columbia University in New York. Marcel's grandchildren, Jesse Marcel III and John Marcel, told Mail Online their grandfather had completed training in weather balloons, and it was preposterous to suggest he wouldn't be able to identify one. He had examined the debris in the field and determined it was not made by human hands, Jesse said. According to the grandchildren, upon arriving at the scene, Marcel pulled a lighter from his pocket in an attempt to melt the debris. He was unsuccessful. The debris from the crash was then collected and brought to Roswell Base. Marcel reportedly admitting to drill the material, but the blades broke on impact. They said their grandfather had described the pieces as light but strong. He said there were glass fibers and fiber optics that may have been from the computers on the ship, John said. Marcel's wife Linda told The Guardian he was credible. He wasn't lying. He never embellished, only told what he saw. They were told to keep quiet, and they did for many, many years. Marcel's claims will be investigated in a new show by a former CIA operative, Ben Smith. Smith, who also has seen Marcel's journal, said it shows a change in Marcel's mental state. There are breaks in the journal that are not clear, but it could be secret code, he said. Speaking of the 1947 wreckage, Smith said he is not convinced it was a balloon, but he hasn't made a firm decision yet. Quote, he was an intelligent, capable officer who knew the value and importance of secrets. Why did he make statements and hold on to them for so long? Smith said of Marcel. This is not the first time that Jesse Marcel or his father's account has been tested for its truthfulness. His father's account was put to a lie detector test, but this was not any normal lie detector. This was based on new cutting-edge software. A new technology has been developed that allows the software to analyze psycholinguistic cues to indicate truthfulness, as opposed to the polygraph, which produces results of 65% accuracy. This boasts supposed results as accurate as 86 to 99%, quite staggering if it is true. The software utilizes a combination of statistical analysis, linguistics, and psychology. It looks for 88 psycholinguistic cues that indicate whether someone is telling the truth. The most fascinating thing about it does not require the person to be hooked up to any sort of machine or software. In fact, it does not require the person to be alive. By transcribing words in text form, the software can allegedly tell, based on word choice, if the person was telling the truth. These statements were analyzed by the machine. To the statement by Marcel. This is Jesse Marcel Sr., the officer who was first on the site and held the material, allegedly bringing it home to show his family. One thing that impressed us about the debris was the fact that a lot of it looked like parchment. It had little numbers with symbols that we had to call hieroglyphics because I could not understand them. They could not be read. They were just like symbols, something that meant something, and they were not all the same, but they had the same general pattern, I would say. When this was analyzed by the software, the report was normal, no deception. To the statement by Marcel, quote, this particular piece of metal was, I would say, about 2 feet long and perhaps 2 feet wide. See, that stuff weighs nothing. It's so thin, it isn't any thicker than tin foil in a pack of cigarettes. So I tried to bend the stuff. It wouldn't bend. We even tried to make a dent with it, with a 16-pound sledgehammer. There was no dent in it. Deceptive analysis results indicate, again, normal, no deception. And the third statement by Marcel. There were small beams about 3/8 of a half-inch square with some sort of hieroglyphics on them that nobody could decipher. These looked something like balsa wood. And they were about the same weight, except they were not wood at all. They were very hard, although flexible, and would not burn. Again, deceptive analysis results indicated normal, no deception. Are these accounts to be trusted? The family went through quite a bit of scrutiny and hardships throughout their lives for telling such a tale, but they never wavered, not once, against all the backlash and all the criticism coming towards their family. Not once did either Jesse Marcel Sr. or his son, Jesse Marcel Jr., ever waver from the fact that they indeed held material inside of their home that came from a crashed site that was made not by human hands. I will let you decide. Tune in Sundays at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time for our live show as we discover and investigate the paranormal, UFO phenomenon, biblical prophecy, strange mysteries, and hidden histories. We thank you for watching.